Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Dr. Judy Rosenberg. She's here. Wonderful. Today, we are having second part of our conversation with Dr. Judy Rosenberg, Doctor of Psychology, and we have tons of very interesting topics to discuss. Let me let her in. I just sent her a request. And hello,
Oh, how are
hello.
you?
You're getting so good at those.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Definitely. How are you today?
I'm good in spite of what's going on.
I, I
I
know.
think getting to everybody. Yeah,
I know. That's what I actually wanted to start from. You
yeah,
as a psychologist, there are
yeah.
a lot of emotions going on right now. You better than anyone can give some advice how to deal with that. There's like whole range of emotions up there.
All, all range. And I'm going to do a radio show, everyone, tonight.
Mhm.
Haven't defined the exact topic, but it's going to be about the hole in the soul that we all
Mhm.
experience as a human race.
Right.
The pain and the reactivity that's going on right now. And
Mhm.
I'm also going to bring up something that is very near heart, which is principles. We have to abide by principles.
Right. Right.
Okay? We can't just continue to project and project and project on other people. And
Mm-hmm.
what's happening is this triggering the next trigger next. And so our amygdala, which is our primitive fear center, is the place that we're in right now. And this is not a good place to make decisions. This is not a good place to forward the causes of the human
Mm-hmm.
race, so on. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not a good place for us to be in right now. It's destructive. And so we're gonna work tonight on dialing down our amygdala and getting our center point. And I know today we're gonna go to a lighter, but it's not. It's very related because we need a home. We need peace. We need a place, even if it's a tiny little space or a big place. Doesn't matter. It's a place that we want to call home.
Right. Right.
Okay. And as a meditator, a yoga lover, I know the word Om. Om. What's Om? Is bringing us to the center. And interestingly enough, the word home has the word Om in
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So center, hopefully our peace center. And so go ahead and tell me what you want to talk about, and I'm on board.
Let's start with what's going on now with all this emotions and craziness. I know you're gonna give, I'm sure, incredible session tonight. But for our viewers, just like little advices, how, like, what to do if you are in the middle of the crowd like that, in the middle, like all of a sudden, or you are at home, how, and you witness something like that. What is the best? Uh, is there any techniques that can be advice what to do?
Let's go with Maslow's hierarchy, okay? Our
Okay.
position is we have to be okay. We
Mm-hmm.
can't take care of other people until we are okay. So I'm borrowing an AA kind of a statement that says something like, if you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired,
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that you eat, that you sleep, that you have support, that your anger is appropriately expressed. And by the way, everybody, please download my Peaceful Healing Dialogue. It's on my website under the form section. It's also in my free PDF book, Be the Cause
Mm-hmm.
Healing Human Disconnect, because now more than ever, we feel human disconnect, and then the bigger picture, global disconnect. We have to do it. Okay, and we can't do it when we're acting out of our anxiety, out of our fear, out of our
instincts.
Payback time, payback who? Okay. This is complicated.
That's right.
Because each one of us comes from a different background. We are a different religion, a different race, a different philosophy, and so on. Okay. And if we're going to continue to bash and clash and kill each other based on, I call them our isms. Isms are race, politics, religion, nationality, age, socioeconomic status, so on and so forth. This is exactly the opposite of the philosophy of the mind map. Exactly opposite. Because the philosophy of the mind map is original mind map was called Join the Human Race. Join the human race. Okay? To join the human race, I emphasize the word humane. Let's put an E at the end of human. Humane. And what does it mean to be a humane being is let's start with empathy. Okay? And it's very hard to have empathy for anybody that's coming from a place of anger or even more horrible, even more horrible killing. I don't care what color the person is, what nationality the person is. Number one, are human beings. So consider to dial down this amygdala and the rage. Of course, there justice in the world. I'm not, let's shut up. Let's ignore it. I'm to say to keep your ideas closed and your mouth shut. It's just that another thing that's going on, we all know protesters, okay, we have the right to speak, freedom of speech. But, I think we forgot something. We're living in a COVID era, okay? So when we're going out there and we're protesting, we are not in a peaceful place to measure social distance and to keep the medical upholding, right? So now we've got problem after problem after problem after problem.
So we're not really resolving anything by doing that, actually. We're just making it worse.
So what do? I think number one, take care of yourself. Okay? Find your true voice of how you express it, and find it through a peaceful, effective way, even if you have to raise your voice in indignancy, which is legitimate, okay? So what, are you going to yell at your neighbor because you're mad? Like, what's your neighbor necessarily have to do with it? Or what's that guy over there necessarily have to do with anything? So we have to understand that everyone is coming from a different philosophy, a different place, and we cannot do what is the most damaging way to behave on the planet, projection. Okay? Right. If you're a white person and I project on you that you hate all people of color, I immediately created a human disconnect.
Absolutely.
How do I know? How do I know? How do you know? Okay? So we have to create interconnection. We have to each other. We have to operate from the place of empathy, which is very, very rare these days.
How to develop empathy? Is there any kind of exercises? Like what, or you born with that? Can you learn it?
I think it starts developmentally, and this is a big subject on in Psychological Healing Center, is that when we have parents who are loving, who are tuned to us, who take care of our emotional needs, we develop empathy. When we have parents who are tuned out, when we don't have parents, or parents are absent, or our father's non-existent, and the mother goes to work, and so on, we're creating a human disconnect. And what happens to that infant child is they shut down their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is a defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And when they
How to reinvent it again? How to let it go? How to?
okay, that's where the mind map process comes in, because we
Mm-hmm.
have to go back into the wounds of childhood, and we have to
Mm-hmm.
wake up and get out of the psychological prison of apathy that we've created. Okay, and that's not the
Mm-hmm.
thing to do, because when we have been broken in the trust department from our parents, it's very hard to trust other people. And now you see it on a macro basis. No one trusts it.
Mm-hmm.
Broken.
Yeah.
So how do you heal such a thing? It's a big subject. I wish I could say, and you take this word and you
This magical pill,
this
or you do this
word.
exercise. Yeah.
So the best that I have right now is that peaceful healing dialogue, and understand that we have to go back into our hearts, and as best as we can, we have to put ourselves in everyone's shoes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And at
Mm-hmm.
least start with understanding, and start with saying, I understand your pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, with
That's good.
right?
Good phrase. Yeah.
But I understand your pain. I think what you say is, and I really hear that, and I'm taking it very, very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna be a voice for your voice. And I also want to set boundaries, because if you start coming at me loudly and violently, then I cannot hear you.
Right.
I disconnect from you because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm scared of you,
Mm-hmm.
protecting me, and I'm back in my defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to go back into my, because you're coming at me really loud and you're trying to deliver a point, I'm just like, now I don't,
Yeah.
now I don't feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the disconnect, you see how it's a system gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to stop. And one way to deal with this is a concept called mirroring. And I think some of the police officers, I saw one picture where 4 different police officers were kneeling and praying.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
That was the way to say, "I feel your pain."
Right,
Yeah.
I feel your pain. I
Mm-hmm.
have words. I'm
Mm-hmm.
crying with you,
Yeah.
crying with you.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is crying for different reasons. They're crying. Okay, so what do we do? It's a very, very complicated process. That's exactly why I created the mind map. It was originally called Join the Human Race Healing Global Disconnect. I have a little website, very underdeveloped, but my message is loud and clear. It's on there. And the website is healingglobaldisconnect.com. So that's the message.
Mm-hmm.
And we're far away from the message of the united humanity. We're very, very far away. So what can we do now? What can we do very basically now? We have to, as parents, as family people, we have to stay very connected to our families. We've got to stay connected to their emotions and mirror them,
Mm-hmm.
and create safety, and create really an internal home, and then an external home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're, you're a real
Healthy
estate.
environment. Right.
So, right, what's inside is outside. So you
Mm-hmm.
are in the business of selling homes.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's go to that. Yeah. Exactly.
So
The
we
best ways.
we have a home, we have an inside home, and
Yeah.
then we have an outside home. So
Mm-hmm.
it's inside out. I had an idea years ago. Maybe we'll do it. Okay, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not do it. It's called decorating from
Mm-hmm.
the inside out. And
Decorating from inside out. Okay.
right. And
Uh-huh.
decorating from the inside out was, I'm trained also in hypnosis. Me creating a hypnotic um, um, visualization. It's a
Mm-hmm.
visualization process whereby people get in touch with their soul home. So
Mm-hmm.
before jumping around and looking for a house for them, and they're saying, I don't know if I want the Spanish villa, I want, a cute little cottage.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
first get it inside. What feels,
Yourself. Right.
what vibes right to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is intuitively sinking into your home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you can build from there. So number one, it's interesting when I purchased my home, which is a post and beam, and here you can see a little bit of it. You see, see the beams, okay,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's
Right. Mm-hmm.
there's my mind map, by the way, everybody, okay.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Childhood,
Oh, wow.
reaction, encoding, chaos,
Mm-hmm.
defenses, breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
We're in panel defenses and breakdowns right now, and where we want to be is here.
Mm-hmm.
Interconnection, healing, and unity. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So before I got this home, I had what I wanted, and I wanted wood, I wanted glass, I wanted cement, I wanted clean lines, I wanted a view, I wanted a
Light.
pad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
You have a lot of it, yeah.
I wanted a peaceful place to
Mm-hmm.
call my home.
Mm-hmm.
I had this in my mind, and then when I saw this home,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, it had ugly shack carpeting, and it had a lot of really outdated features, and people were running out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw the dream house here. I truly
Right.
did, and
Right.
I'm glad that they were running.
So you started from building the base, right? So you put it and you got in a peaceful state of yourself, and you were thinking, what would be the basics, right? What will be the most important things to me?
Right. The house is a metaphor for who I am. I don't like clutter. So I got clean lines. I like open because I happen to be, I don't like closed little spaces. So
Mm-hmm.
I windows. I
Mm-hmm.
love, I love the mountains. I love the view. I just
Mm-hmm.
love anything to do with peaceful. I wanted a place where other people can find healing and peace, where I could do my mind map, where I could heal human disconnect and global disconnect. And ironically, this turned into a place where a lot of healing has happened. So this had to be in my mind. And then there are a lot of layers, like what kind of colors? Like if you look at my office, all right, this is
Mm-hmm.
my office, everyone. So I like earth tones and peaceful and just cozy and simple.
Right.
That's what I like for my office. And then I have in my living room, as you saw, and thank you for
Mm-hmm.
those flowers. They're sitting in my living room. Um, so in my living room, I like a pop of colors. So I have red, but then
Mm-hmm.
everything else around it is neutrals and grays and just
Right.
very subdued. So you've got to, if you're a home buyer
Mm-hmm.
or a decorator,
Mm-hmm.
or even in living in your home and you want to just revive it,
Mm-hmm.
then I think before you go shopping, like remember the other day we were talking, you see a beautiful pillow. Oh, that's a beautiful pillow, and you buy it,
Yeah.
automatically. Beautiful
Yeah.
pillow. Then you don't know
Continuous buying.
what
Yeah.
to do with it. And so
Exactly.
you end up putting it in the closet or
Mm-hmm.
regifting it or taking it back, and that's a whole pain and so on. And so everything you choose into your home, like you choose people into your home, you choose
Mm-hmm.
food into your refrigerator, you choose
Mm-hmm.
clothes in your closet, you
Mm-hmm.
choose the colors you want. So let's do it more consciously.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do it internally first before
Mm-hmm.
we manifest it physically.
Let me close the window. I have some workers starting work. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that will save time and be more respectful to the people in the real estate field who, do you really want to run around? And then they say,
Absolutely. And giving
"There's
different
no way."
information. Yeah.
It's crazy making. It's a waste of everybody's time and energy, and it leads to frustration. And
Yeah.
so sometimes it
Real,
might be
in
worth
real
it.
estate profession, the worst client is the one who doesn't know what he wants. That's the worst
Call
because he
me.
will make you run for 6 months, for a year. And he still doesn't know what he wants, and that's like really, really hard.
And you know, you have the right to have boundaries and say Mr. or Miss or Mrs. or
Mm-hmm.
Dr. whoever they are, you know, with all due respect, let's take the time to get clear on what
Mm-hmm.
you, and if you want to send them here, we'll do self a journey self-hypnosis so they could get clear in their mind. You know, the house is a huge investment. To invest in clarity is so little compared to what they're going to invest in. People
Mm-hmm.
are investing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into a home.
Absolutely.
So get clear, and then
How
part
they can, I'm sorry to interrupt, how they can get clear if there is husband, there is wife, there are kids as well, how they can get clear on one idea together. So
so much for bringing that up because that was something we discussed, and I'm glad you're bringing it up. Okay, so
mm-hmm.
look, panel number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interconnection,
Right,
interconnection.
right.
So we've got a little girl, a little boy. We have a mother, we have a father, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even a grandmother, grandfather, and
Mm-hmm.
so this has got to be synergy. Okay, so it's sort of like a we and an I. So an
Mm-hmm.
I would be my room. I'm 13 years old. I want my room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
then that room is something that's going to be expressive of that person, and the boundaries are going to be that person. And so the family would agree that here's the budget, and don't go too far off with
Right, right.
certain things, but this is really your space. And
Mm-hmm.
then the parents might have their space,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Or the woman might have her own bathroom, or
Mm-hmm.
closet, and his own bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and his or her office. So there's always the we space and the me space. And the we would maybe be the living room or the kitchen or the family room or the outdoor room. And so I think that, you know, to simplify things, I think divide it into the we and then divide it into the me.
You know, it's very interesting because usually what I'm dealing when I'm in the fields with the clients, quite often I have we, like you said, and then I have men's cave because
Yeah.
women usually they don't
Oh,
they are we space, but then
oh,
there's men's cave. They're
absolutely.
always looking for have this men's cave.
Okay, and then sometimes people don't have vision. So
Mm-hmm.
you, as a real estate agent, because you've been in this profession and you know what people like, you
Mm-hmm.
can already increase the value of a property by talking about the potential.
Mm-hmm.
So say you're showing a man a room and it's just a room,
Mm-hmm.
a room. And he says, oh, it's just a room. And then you could say, you know, do you see this room? Not just a room. Look, it's
Mm-hmm.
all the way in the back of the house. Look at this room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not many people could get back here because of the hallway and there's this, that,
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know, this is a perfect spot for a man cave. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you why. You see this big wall? A huge screen television can go here.
Mm-hmm.
See the corner over here? You could put your game, you know, your billiard a pool table here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so on and so forth. And then you are the creator. So now you're the cop. You're the creator of somebody's stimulating their imagination and opening up possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you could participate in what do you imagine could be in this room? Go, oh, you're right. I could see that I could put my favorite chair here. Go, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what color would it be? And then they'd say, yeah, I just love my big uh, sneeze that will not. Round two doesn't come. Okay, so then you say, oh, what color's the chair? And oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
like a big, big brown leather chair. It goes,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I think would go with a big brown leather chair. Oh, I just love red. It goes, oh, could you see with your big brown leather chair, could you maybe see a beautiful carpet in the room? Maybe it could be a deep red that makes the room feel very rich.
Mm-hmm.
So then
Mm-hmm.
they'll say, "Oh, I could see that," and then you can kind of like already help stimulate people's imagination,
Right, right. So
right?
to start, it will be find a peaceful place
Yes.
within the environment. The best is to get together. So how's technically it's the best way to do it? It's
Uh,
like the whole family together and you write down or.
yeah, the whole family has a meeting
Mm-hmm.
start before you start shopping, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody writes down their dream home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the children will write down their dream home, will
Mm-hmm.
write their dream home and their
Mm-hmm.
dream, so on, and then you look at everybody's notes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then some things will really not go together, and so
Right.
you'll have to make a deal and say,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
we
important
want.
to have some kind of scale. So from 1 to 10, how important this to you, and how important that to you. So then you can, since you have to deal with a lot of people, and
that,
that you
that's right. And then maybe one room where it's really a wee room,
Mm-hmm.
because in panel number, I'm going to go back so people could
Mm-hmm.
visually. You see the light in the middle of panel 7?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's the wee light, meaning 1 plus 1 plus 1 is greater
Mm-hmm.
than 3.
Right.
So let's say you and I have an idea. You
Mm-hmm.
have your light, I have my light, and then
Mm-hmm.
you together and we make even more light for the world
Right. Right.
because of our connection,
Mm-hmm.
because of synergy,
Mm-hmm.
our interconnection. Okay, and that's what the family would be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one child would say, mommy, in the family room, what I want is a trampoline, and the parents would go, trampoline. Oh my God. But maybe the trampoline comes in all kinds of different colors and could really be a fun spot and be surrounded by cool pillows and
Mm-hmm.
artwork. So it would just it would really create family synergy. Speaking of family
Is it
here,
then
my
like
goodness.
you then like you said, after deciding on inside, then you do the same thing for outside. What is location, right? What would you want to have around? You want to have a theater next to you, museums next to you, or you want to have beach next to you? And again, you have this kind of conversation all together, right?
And maybe that's something that you can create as an agent. So
Mm-hmm.
when I see a patient, I want to
That's
know,
very good idea. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
okay, so you have them fill it out, and you
Good
have every
questioner.
single member of the family fill it out. And
Mm-hmm.
they become very unique in that because you're personalizing your
Mm-hmm.
shop to the family.
Very good idea. Thank you.
You're
Perfect.
welcome. And then you're going to have less of a headache because then you're going to look for the house on the beach or the house in
Mm-hmm.
the or the house in a flat section or a
Mm-hmm.
house in the hills or a Tuscany villa or just a sweet little
Right.
clean little cottage style or
Mm-hmm.
crafts or whatever they want. So no more runaround.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's very smart. We'll do that.
Mhm.
Let's go to the next subject. How to choose your partner in that case. Is that the same kind of system?
How do you choose your partner?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big leap, but not really. There's a connection there. Okay. So when you're choosing a house, you have to make sure there are no deal breakers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go in kind of like some kind of an order. I don't know what the order is going to be, but I would say number one, when I'm choosing a house, I want to make sure that there is no deal breaker because, as you know, as a businesswoman, how many deal breakers does it take to break the deal?
Mm-hmm. Can be one.
One,
Yeah.
one. Okay, because the house could have nice floor plan, nice view,
Everything.
nice. But if it's on an earthquake outline, no deal.
Right. That's
Okay. If the retaining walls are not retaining and they have to be built at the cost of $200,000, then you have to tell your customer, this is a great house, but I need to tell you, you're going to have to get a structural engineer in here.
Mm-hmm.
Because one earthquake and that little hillside that's pointing to your bedroom can be in your bedroom.
Yeah, that's
okay?
great.
So as long as you give them disclosures and then they agree, okay, we can handle that. We can handle the leaky roof. We will re-roof it. We can handle the floors needing to be redone. We can handle this. There's some things that things are different deal breakers for people. Like this house, I'm glad that people were running from it because for them, the ugly shag carpet and the linoleum kitchen deal breaker. To me, let's just rip it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make it unique to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? And so you teach people how to use their eyes for potential.
Mm-hmm.
And call them back and say, wait a minute, why are you saying no to this house? So you want to clarify. Same with relationship. Okay, let's go back to the relationship. Number one, no deal breakers. Obviously, people who are violent, deal breaker. Obviously, people who are um, uh, drug addicts, have an addiction of any form, not good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if they're cheaters and they break all boundaries and they're not taking care of their health or they don't take care of their hygiene, these are pretty apparent deal breakers. Now, what is a deal maker? To me, how do I choose my friends'
Mm-hmm.
relationship? Someone who is has empathy. That's
Mm-hmm.
very important to me. I want to know that that person is capable of stepping into my shoes and seeing my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Very importantly, I want somebody who's able to own their own stuff. And by the way, I have a whole show on that.
Mm-hmm.
Own your own stuff. Parents, own your own stuff. Pretty heavy episode. It's on Dr. Judy WTF YouTube, but the Freud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
We'll put it out after the show. I'll put it out there. All the information.
yeah, owning your own stuff. And it's
Kind of.
so,
Mm-hmm.
so important. And I have a lot of on relationship. But this one, you see, if let's say I hurt your feelings, okay, and you say, you hurt my feelings, and I say, oh, it's because you that did this and you did this. Now I'm finger pointing at you. I'm not owning my own stuff, and I could say, how did I hurt your feelings? Say, okay, when you did this and this and this, it really hurt. I say, I see what you're saying. I see how my words were not so chosen very consciously.
Mm-hmm.
I get that that was a very not a connection with us. So
Right.
I'd like the opportunity to repair that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so owning your own stuff and repairing, that is a great foundation for a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to match on certain qualities. Okay, what qualities people look for? Sometimes you want somebody of your own spiritual or religious background.
Compatibility. Uh-huh.
Sometimes you want somebody from your own country that you could share celebrations and the food and
Mm-hmm.
tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you want someone who's more in line educationally with you. Sometimes you want to be more in line physically with you. Somebody who's also
Oh,
taking.
again, it's some kind of like a scale. Which line is more important to you? Because that's pretty. You cannot have everything. We know that people who think that they're gonna go and get like all at the same time, it doesn't exist, unfortunately. But
Right.
you really need to understand within yourself what is the deal breakers there, what you can live with, right?
Absolutely. And even let's say you come across a deal breaker, and
Mm-hmm.
I run across them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And really, you could shake it and see if it really is a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
In my instance, I'm a big fan teeth, you know, if oral hygiene and nice
Okay.
hygiene. And I have gone on many dates with people who just, their teeth are a mess and their breath smell right. And sometimes, even though many people would not consider this nice, I was coming from a place, I didn't want to just dump the person. I wanted the person to dump the problem. And so, as delicately as I could say, I would just say, you know, I really like you. Can I talk about something that's standing in the way? See, this is where the peaceful healing. Do I have permission to tell you what's in the way of me getting closer to you? Sure. What do you want to say? Go, well, the truth is, when I get close to you, unfortunately, your breath is getting in the way.
Feeling.
And I really, you know, please, I don't mean any harm or you know, by it. Telling you this because I'd like us to solve it, I'd like you to solve it, so that we can have an opportunity to move a little bit further and see what is here. Okay? And this applies to a house, it applies to a relationship. And sometimes we think it's a deal breaker, but it could be addressed.
It can be resolved.
But I'm telling you, don't pick a project, okay? You don't want to pick somebody who's coming out of alcohol rehab. They're not even supposed to date for a year. They're supposed to.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to stabilize. Okay, don't pick these big projects, because if they haven't been able to solve it in 20, 30, 40 years, don't think that unconditional love, kindness is going to solve a hole in the soul. They need deep hole in the soul therapy.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Do you are you dealing with addictions, with the people with addictions? You help people?
I deal with the hole in the soul behind the addiction.
Right, because that's
addiction, right, is a way to soothe the pain. The addiction is the way to defend against the pain. So I deal with the childhood wounds that lead them to then pick up that addiction to whole. And if they have an addiction to a substance, a chemical, then we have to work together, meaning maybe with the drug counselor, maybe abstinence program, along digging into the pain. Because if you don't get to the root and you just say,
yeah, stay sober for 1 month. Yeah, it's not going to explain.
Nothing's changing internally. There's no progress internally, right? Yeah.
That's very correct.
Yeah.
Oh. Fantastic. Fantastic.
And then deal makers. Let's talk about deal makers. Somebody who has kindness and empathy. I look for people who love animals because I love animals. I look for
people. I know. Your dogs, their family, it looks like.
Right. Look for somebody who's together, mind, body, soul. Somebody who is financially together. I don't want to be with someone who doesn't have their finances as a mature adult in a other place. I don't want to be with somebody who has neglected their health. I don't want to be with somebody who, you know, so the deal makers is someone who shows up, somebody who keeps their word, someone who appreciates me, someone who who's an addition to my life as I am an addition to them.
Right.
Somebody that I know is looking for a person like me. Okay, if they're looking for a short marathon runner, well, I'm not a short marathon runner, okay? Truth be known, okay? If they're looking for somebody with more of a sense of humor and a deeper soul and a lover of connection and animals and health, okay, then, you know, we're kind of, we're starting off on the right, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with your visualization. So visualize the person. Okay, not only physically, but physically too. That's important. Visualize how that person makes you feel. there was a really great TED talk about a woman who had gone on too many dates and she was very frustrated and she decided to date herself and
I read about it. Did you see?
marry, yeah, marry herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then treated herself so nicely that then she started going on dates and her criteria was not how whether he wants her or not, but how does he make her feel?
Mm-hmm.
If he makes her feel safe, if he makes her feel special. And this is not just from, her to him, the men too. If you're a man and you're dating a woman, how does she make you feel?
Right, right.
Does she listen to you? Does she listen to you? Does she mirror you? Is she going to be a plus in your life? Does she have added light to give your life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sustainable.
Mm-hmm. I would think that it will be different approaches, right, for men and women.
Yeah. And okay, what were you thinking, for example?
For example, woman will be more about the way of visualizing, because it's like people have different way of sensing things. Like some people are more visual, some people are more audible. I would say that woman looks, like you said, they look for security, they look for uh, how they will feel with the man, while
Yeah.
men, they more about not how they feel with, probably it's more really about if it's inspiring them, or I don't know. To me they have different approaches. I'm not a man, that's why it's hard for me to
Right.
understand
The
how they
saying,
look for.
right. The saying is that women pick with their ears of what they hear, and men pick with their eyes of what they see.
Right.
It's just that after a while, and it is very important to have physical chemistry, and that doesn't mean necessarily a certain look, but it could also include that. It
Mm-hmm.
could include the touch of a person, the smell of a person, the way they move, the
Mm-hmm.
way they hold themselves. And sometimes when you're around a person, they just become more beautiful to you.
They become more.
Or they can become more beautiful to you.
Oh yeah.
Or a very
Mm-hmm.
beautiful or handsome person can get uglier and
Mm-hmm.
uglier and uglier,
Oh, I
right?
agree with you absolutely. Yeah.
So part of the choosing is also taking the time to get to know them on many different layers because the connections are not just, up here. They also exist on all kinds of levels
Right.
of a human being,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Excellent. A lot of topics to think about now.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about. And also remember today, in today's atmosphere, I'm feeling like I can not say anything quite right because if I say this, we're very divided.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say this, how dare you say that? If I say that, how
That's
dare you say that?
mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why I like to think in terms of the system gone wrong and maybe just stay out more out of the politics of it and
Mm-hmm.
step into your humanity
Right.
and and your human dignity and come from instead of an ism. I'm white, I'm black, I'm Chinese, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
This come from a human place. Okay? My dream is that we really do create a united humanity. Now is the furthest sometimes when we are the furthest from something, it's an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
An opportunity. And I can hear the pain, I can hear the crying. And so people cry different ways. Sometimes people cry by slapping you, ow, I hurt, boom.
Right.
Yeah, but my
Right.
grandson, when he's, even was smaller, I hate you, grandma, and throw things at me. It's
Mm-hmm.
a very primitive state of being. And you can see that we, as a human race right now, we're regressing to, okay, if you can't hear me, maybe you could see my gun pointing in your face. Oh, I can't hear you when you have a gun pointing in my face because I'm scared of you. But that doesn't mean I don't want to hear you.
Right.
So I think that we've got to have a different platforms where we really, really listen.
Yeah, different way.
Without fear and judgment.
That probably should be done at school from early age. That's how they should. And I think that like that's what I notice. Generation of my son, for example, that's what they have it from pre-K, from kindergarten. They very important how you feel, what communicate, express yourself, how to react towards that. I think there is some kind of movements. Hopefully, the next generations will be better.
Okay, and I admire a school system that's going to be teaching EQ, emotional intelligence. And as you know, I want to get my mind map system to the school system so children can learn about childhood wounds and they can learn about their negative core beliefs and deconstruct these horrible beliefs like I'm stupid, I'm bad, I'm not lovable, I should rather be dead. You know, I hear this all the time from children. Okay, where does this come from? This has got to be addressed at the school system level. And I do have all of this broken down in video form. And one of the videos in the video is my grandson breaking down the mind map from a child's point of view.
Oh, wow.
It's really beautiful. Okay?
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll play it one day to your audience.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Dr. Judy, thank you so much. I'm going to put all the information about you, all the links to your channels after that. And let's keep talking. Let's keep bringing your wisdom.
I really appreciate it. Put my free PDF out there. Just download it for free. My book, very simple.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I thank you very much for always giving me the opportunity to share and create new ideas.
Thank you, Dr. Judy.
Okay.
Very soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.